I sold 8 records in my collection to buy 4. What do you see what I bought?
Your two favorite guys, Ryan and Steve from the Vinyl Record Mission.
So all of you know that I've been going through a purging process of my record collection, and I am using the money that I get from the sales of the records I'm purging to buy, if you guessed, more records. You're right. More records, actually less records, more quality, more what I want in my collection. So I've amassed quite a lot of records that I don't particularly care for, have duplicates of, or, just aren't listening to. So that's how I'm deciding what I'm purging and what I'm keeping. So in the process, I also have a list of items that I would like to add to my collection. So I guess it's that quality over quantity mentality now that I'm shooting for. I'd like to narrow down my collection to just more rare records and records that I know I am going to thoroughly enjoy, and to complete collections of maybe certain artists that I'm really fond of. So oddly enough, I ordered 4 records, 2 from the same seller, and then 1 from another seller and 1 from another seller, and I got 3 different boxes, which is not unusual, but the difference in the boxes are very, very drastic. So this one came from Amazon. This is like a huge, there's a record in here, but the only thing that concerns me is that when you turn it, you can hear something's, it's loose. Hope I'm not damaging it by doing that, but I'm curious to see this package on here. It's an Amazon box. It says made to fit. So it's got kind of a strange opening thing, but we're going to go ahead and open it up and see. It has a pull tab. It looks like right here. It says pull to open. So we're going to go ahead and pull that. I think that's how you do it. Well, coming open. Oh, wow, very impressive. Actually, quite impressive. So inside this, believe it or not, this is an Amazon seller. I couldn't find the seller name, but inside there is the record in a record mailer. Wow. And this is the good kind of record mailer with the end flaps protection for the corners. They didn't even really seal it, but nevertheless, that's a nice record mailer right there. Protective. I like it. And inside another box. So let's show you what this is. This was, nothing too rare. It's a Tone Poet. Yeah. Right there. It's Katanga by Curtis Amy with Jack Wilson, Ray Crawford. And it's an amazing record. If you haven't heard this, I highly recommend it. Curtis Amy was the husband of Mary Clayton back in the day, and she's an amazing soul artist and did quite a few records. But, I saw this on Amazon for $35, free shipping, and I jumped on it because I was just looking at this record on Discogs. Check out what people are asking for this record on Discogs. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. $125. This is a sealed copy right here. It's never been opened. It's new old stock. This is from 2021. So yeah, I'm like super excited. This was on Pacific Jazz originally. Just amazing music. But I've been seeing these videos about have record prices, gone up or down or sideways, or what's going on with record prices. You can't tell. And if you know where to shop, record prices have gone down far as I'm concerned, I mean, yeah, record prices have gone up because there's a lot of unrealistic, greedy people out there in over the entire world, not just in the United States, but some of these people in Germany and in the UK and Italy and France, they're asking ridiculous money for just records you can get over here, for $35. Like I just got a $35 record that other people are trying to sell for 125, 85, just ridiculous. So it's really just, you got to be a wise shopper. Look around, and you'll find some great deals out there. And I wish I found a way to, I guess I can find out who this seller is, because the packing was stellar. That's very unusual for Amazon. They used to just put the records in that big old box and throw them in, the mail, and they would come with dinged corners and all kinds of stuff. So let's move on to the next one. Here you go. Here's a traditional, this is a little bit heavier corrugated cardboard than those white ones. The white ones are pretty thin. And man, if these records so much as get hit the wrong way on a corner or get pressed up against something the wrong way, they're not the safest. They were the original style, but they've come up with some much better products, like this one right here. The one I just showed you has this is a corner protector, prevents dings on the corner. So let's open this, and this is from a very well-known seller by the name of Craig Morimer, and he's out in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. Records by Mail is his handle on Discogs. You've probably bought from him because he probably has more records listed for sale than just about anybody in the world. The guy's got a warehouse full of records, man. Just an amazing career that he's had in his business. So let's open this up and see. He thankfully, he at least puts fragile, do not crush on there. Not that that ever prevents the mailman from giving a damn. But this looks like it came pretty good. And this is a couple of unusual records here that I just wanted to add to my collection because I'm a huge fan of the artist that I'm going to share with you right here. And it's not David Cornwall. No, he's not the artist that I'm fond of, but this is David Cornwall. This is You're My Woman. And this is on what's known as a tax scam record. Yeah, this is on Laurie Productions. And this was produced by George Clinton. And it was arranged by none other than George Semper, which, if you guys know me well, you know that I'm a huge George Semper fan. And I'm always trying to add to my George Semper collection. So you can see here, this is it looks like a white label promo, but this is a tax scam or tax write-off record. And what that was back in the 70s, I think it was, the record companies tried to create a way to take a loss. So they would produce a record that they intended to take a loss on intentionally to save, tens of thousands of dollars in taxes, to have a tax write-off for the rest of their successful records, I guess. There are some major heaters in the tax scam record category. Stonewall is one of them. That record can sell for, I think it was a fluke, but someone paid $14,000 for a copy of Stonewall. And then there's also sales in upwards of $1,000. But Black Velvet, Black Saint, that record all day long. It's amazing music, and it sells for up to $1,000. David Cornwall, it's supposed to be like a rock psych record, and I think I only paid, let me see, it was $25. I thought, what the heck? I wanted this record right here. And look at it's a 45, but he stuck it to the stiffener. See that? That's smart. That's a knowledgeable record seller right there. Good job, Greg. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think it comes right out. slips right out. That's a really cool idea. Instead of using an entire, you could have used an entire 45 box and then had to use a bigger box. But so this record, believe it or not, is Brenton Wood. And if you've never heard the song, you really should stream it, because maybe I'll give you a little sound clip. I actually could. Sticky Boom Boom, right there. And it's a mint copy of Sticky Boom Boom on Prophecy Records. And if you notice on there, it says, it's kind of small, but arranged by George Semper. Now, the backing group for Brenton Wood was the United Soul Association, and that consisted of Al McKay, the guitar player from Earth, Wind and Fire, and George Semper. They were Brenton Wood's backup band for a while. So, you know, George Semper, he touched everybody. It seems like everybody who had a illustrious, you know, soul funk career, George Semper was somewhere attached to those people in one way or another, whether he performed with them as a Hammond B3 extraordinaire organ player, or a producer, or a saxophone player, or, you know, he was a multi-instrumentalist, could sing like nobody's business. He's also the founder of the Bay Area funk band, The Perfect Circle. And that record sells for, you know, up to $500 in mint condition. So I wanted to add this to my George Semper collection. And soon I'll be doing a deep dive on George Semper and all the records that I have from him in my collection, and why they're so sought after and rare. So that's the second one right there. I mean, come on, you're hanging out with... It's funny, I know his son Joel, and his son Joel tells me that his dad is the most famous, unfamous person in the music business that he knows of. And it's funny because, like, not a lot of people know who George Semper is. It's really sad because he was an amazing talent. Now, this next one is another example of the newer type of mailers, which are super thick on the ends. They're wider than the records by a few inches, at least, or at least, you know, lengthwise. But this looks like a pretty nice packing job here. And this I got off of eBay. And this, I was really happy to get this because I haven't seen this for a while, and there was only 100 copies pressed. And I found a sealed copy for $49, which I was very, very happy about. And that packaging protected it beautifully. Look at the corners. Not a ding anywhere. Not a ding, and not a split. And this is George Semper's Funk Proof right here. And if you guys are into funk and you don't know about George Semper, better go back to school. George Semper was a pioneer in the funk and soul and R&B genre. I mean, he worked with Mary Love. You know, he had a really, really great career with many great artists. And like, for instance, on here, you've got Brenton Wood is the executive producer of this record. Again, you've got Al McKay on here on guitar, Nathaniel Basie Johnson, Richard Cavazos. Who else on here? Al McKay, I said that already, huh? George Semper's playing the Hammond B3 organ. I'm looking off here to my side because I can't remember all these artists. You got Robert Rosell there on electric bass. I said Nathaniel Basie Johnson on electric bass as well. Al McKay, electric guitar, rhythm guitar. George Semper, electric organ, piano, alto, saxophone, and cowbell. And he also has some lead vocals on here, and percussion by Brenton Wood as well. So this album is killer. There was only 100 of these made. I don't know how many more are out there, but I spent 49 bucks on this with shipping. It came out to like 60 bucks. So I sold 8 records for a total of $130, and I bought 4 records for roughly $130. And yeah, man, I'm super stoked about this, adding this to my collection. I believe it's on yellow vinyl. Yeah, it's just an amazing find for me. So that's what I did with the first. Believe it or not, I've only sold purged 8 records out of my collection, but I do have someone coming to look at them. I might just be selling them off as a lot. If I can do that, man, I'll be even happier. So thanks for joining me on this episode of the Vinyl Record Mission, and for checking out what I bought with my purge money so far. All right, we'll see you on the next video. Take care.
If you haven't, make sure you hit like and subscribe to the Vinyl Record Mission so that way you don't miss out on any future content. More videos coming your way.